One night I was driving home alone from a movie when suddenly I was stunned by a massive impact, deafening sounds of screeching metal. I was in a horrific high-speed crash, trapped inside my car, consumed in fire, and nearly burned to death. My vinyl seat was on fire, melting onto my back. My flesh burned down to the bone on my right shoulder. I was conscious the entire time as I was being skinned alive. Now, despite being devoured by that excruciating pain, I was shocked to see that the anguish of my loneliness was more potent than the physical agony of burning. I wanted someone with me to understand what was happening, and I was begging God, please don't let me die alone. I felt so alone, and I was astonished by it. But what this tells me is just how much we human beings need each other. We need each other. I'd never known the depth of this truth until I lived it in that fire. Now, the flames were shooting 20 feet above the car. A wall of fire from a trail of gasoline extended 20 yards back. Earlier that day, I had picked up art supplies. Everything was still in the back seat. Gallons of turpentine were exploding. And although I couldn't see them, I heard later there were about a dozen people at the scene just staring in disbelief at this massive inferno. A witness found me later. He said, Allison, we were all watching, paralyzed. He said, I wanted so badly to do something to come get you, but I was getting married the next day. He had tears running down his face as he spoke to me. He said, I was on my way to get my bride for our rehearsal dinner, and I knew if I did nothing and you died, I'd never be able to live with myself. He said, but then, thank God, suddenly out of nowhere, a man appeared, and he began walking swiftly and without hesitation towards your car. He said it was the most incredible thing he'd ever seen. He said the man was pumping his arms, that it was like watching the Terminator. He said it's like he was superhuman, and this man walked through that wall of fire. Now, of course, I had no idea any of that was happening. I tried to get out, but my door was jammed shut. Smoke had saturated my lungs. I was just starting to black out, and I thought, I can't believe I'm about to take my last breath. But then all of a sudden, I saw movement to my left, and there was this face inches away from me, looking at me through my driver's side window. This man looked into my eyes, and there was an instant bond. I was burning alive, and yet overcome with incredible relief. I didn't think for a second he could get me out. I just thought, I can't believe I'm not going to die alone. But then he yelled, get your head down. I had to move my head quickly and more into the fire. But in one kick, he shattered all the glass. I came flying out of the car. He patted out the flames on my body with his bare hands. Then he dragged me on my back away from the fire. I felt the dirt, gravel, and glass under me. Tires were exploding. And when he pulled me far enough away, I fell back into his arms and rested. Sometimes all it takes is one person to change a life. One moment, one look. You never know the impact you can have in someone else's life.